Hi, Cancer. All right, welcome to the space. If you are new here, this space is called Opal Oracle, and my name is Raaji. If you've been around for a while, then you know these things. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. I don't really feel like showing my face this month. A couple people I did. I don't know. So it's no, I wanted to say hi, firstly, hi. And now you can look at your cards. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. Well, actually, this one goes there. Let's keep going for a second. Well, someone wants to help, right? So much. Someone wants to help. But it's almost like they need to help themselves. To ensure what's really going on in themselves, right? Or in the situation, like can see, ooh, look at this, keep watch, who's there, night vision. These are all very shadow. Just a second. Moon. Okay. Oh, these ones. Okay, so question of the day, Cancer. Is, what do you think, like, what is love to you, Cancer? Not the words of it, not the way you were treated as a child. I mean, you could go there if you want to, but that's not really the point. It's more about what is love to you? So there's something really deep here, okay, that something that was really intertwined that's now being broken away from, right? Like another, like a layer of it is coming out, right? Or coming off of it. It's making it cleaner, whatever it is, as it comes off. Which puts a new spin on the situation is what I see. And I do see a great dedication here in ways of like a heart-centric dedication. But there's something that's desired maybe within the situation or around the situation that is not trustworthy. Like the foundation of it is not based in trust. So even when the surface tries to do that, at first, I guess this is the situation, when something is based in a non-trust, right? I heard even however accidental that happened to become, then that's going to always have a thread in the root of the situation that even though it can be quote unquote overcome, there's always threads of it until the day that you die that you don't actually fully trust. Okay. So that's something that's coming up here. Now, it's not to say that there's not a lot of positivity happening now, because this situation we're talking about could have been something that was really old. I do see it folding over into now. However long ago it is, has something to do with Leo, Scorpio, Virgo. And when I said Virgo, it was like Ver turned into Burr, like it was cold, and it's like Burr, like I'm cold, I gotta go. Like I'm too cold to like stand here and have this conversation, like, or trying to. Maybe that's the thing is, to some people, sweetness is warm, right? And comfortable. Love. And to some people, it's love means, well, you'd fight for me, right? Or love means, till death do us part. Or love means you say the words, Or love means to some people like toxicity. That goes more into what we've been taught, but that's another story. I mean, all of that is what we've been taught, but knock, knock, who's there? So who lives in your heart right now, Cancer? Ask yourself. Because you can't ask your mother, right? You'd think the woman would be about love, but no, you can't ask her. So, and you can't ask your father either, right? It's like you gotta ask yourself. I guess if you go through this shadow here, then you end up with more opportunities. Okay, you end up with more of something, and then because of that, there's less of something, but it's a better less, right? It's like you have less dishes, less trash, less laundry, less pain, I also see as a side note that there could be something about work that you were uncertain about, right? This is also part of why I find most Cancerians are very good workers. You put a lot of your love into your job, and usually that job is protecting something somehow, some sort of caring, loving, problem solving, even like trauma units, right? You're good at this stuff. You're really good at this. But how do you... Well, I guess don't forget to not help everybody else enough. Like, give yourself some space so you can also help yourself. Because I know that's also hard for you, right? And I heard, welcome to the club. So maybe there's also some sort of, what kind of group activities are you involved with? Like, do you go to, is there like a meeting that you go to that has to do with your problem, or like your issue? Like, is it what support group are you a part of? Or like, do you go to church? You know, because I feel like there are four walls in the space that you have to go into, but there are other people in there to help you. And I heard, don't worry about the cost of it, whatever that means. There's something about these, maybe some of you need to go to, maybe this is a kind of therapy too, or some kind of, again, like some kind of counsel could be very helpful in this time. You know, when I was cleaning up before I sat down to do this reading, I was thinking about, I was like, Cancer energy. I was like, what would I really want to say to them if I could just say any old thing? You know, not that we're holding anything back here, but trying to read what's here. And I was thinking about, actually, I want to look at you when I say this. Like, you know, when everybody thinks you're so awesome and they tell you all the time, like, hey, you're so, you know, you're so good at this, like, Cancer, you're so this and you're so that, and it's so positive, and all of this. And maybe sometimes you feel that way about yourself, but then other times you don't. I mean, that's okay. And I guess what love is really then, if that's the case, I guess one of the biggest things to you in love is well, I don't know, honesty. Whether that would be you to someone else or someone else to you, and then the vice versa, being understanding to the other person, not just to placate their feelings so that the uncomfortableness it doesn't have to be felt, right? But the real empathy, you know, even if that's something like, hey, well, I heard, I love you, but I don't trust you. Can you do those two things at once? I guess it's possible if you take a certain outlook on it, but there's something funky in there. If it's going to be physical, if it's just, if there's space in between, right? If it's like in a spiritual sense, or like a past tense sense, and I see the non-physical, because you don't have any earth here. It's actually very interesting. I mean, there's earthly energy, but the earth here is like, there's something here that the conversation is something that's more invisible. So, love, if you love but you don't trust, I love this owl. Do you remember this owl? It's there was, I forget which month that was in. It's a burrowing owl. It actually lives in the ground. Scorpio owl. And that's a ocean rose, right? That's beautiful. The magic within. Did we say this earlier, that not all fruit is sweet? Not all fruit is sweet. No. Not all fruit is sweet. The fruit of my love, the fruit of my labor. Fruit is when the seeds are on the outside too, right? It's like kind of an obvious thing, but I feel like the only way to have this internal space come to the outside is you have to sit still. You have to be very still in your heart. So this could also mean, for a lot of you, not distracting yourself with, like, maybe you need to take away, again, it's like taking away one of your senses, right? To understand deeper into the feeling of it. When you have something pretty that distracts you, or something that you're used to distracting yourself with, right? It could even be as simple as like music, the telephone, whatever, alcohol, sex, like there's something about being really still here and then it's where you figure out where something's really stuck, and that difference again between love and trust. Okay. Because there's a funky world in there. That's what I see. But yes. It's like the difference between desire and reason. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we want things and it is not for good reason. You know? And sometimes the reason we come up with why we want something that isn't good for us is not a good reason. Right? There's a need to distinguish here how and what. And then in the end game, why? Have you ever trusted love? When? Have you ever trusted, like truly trusted love where it felt solid? This is the first, I mean, we had this earth, right? But that is not a comfortable earth. When was it solid, Cancer? When? And I heard, please peel the layers back to that place. I heard maybe they have something to tell you. And I almost feel like I want to cry, but it's one of those tears where, like, you know it's emotional, but you keep pushing it back and pushing it down. To save face, you know what I mean? which makes you a strong person, but you don't have to be that kind of strong. Like at work, sure, keep your I heard keep it together. But when it comes to other people, like when it comes to love, no. Yeah, you don't. There's something about this that needs to be discussed. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Wow, 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 wow. Guess we'll leave that one out. You know, I'd also say with the Tower and the Death card on the Keep Watch, walking towards who's there. This is underneath Deep Roots. So, if there's any secular nature here, this is also kind of going backwards. Back into a mother space, the Empress, right? So I need to know that somebody may be very afraid of something, maybe even themselves. So if this is you, realize that you can open up in that space and like I heard, convince yourself that you are safe and loved and protected. But you're the only one that can do that with love and trust. And I guess even once you do that with yourself, it's going to take you a while to do that with other people if there has been any significant shakeups with that. And I see the more that you can do that, the more you can help other people feel solid in themselves. Yes. And actually, you're better at your job, too, because you have to remember Cancer. I'll close it like this. They say Cancer rules the IC, Ilium Colii, which basically means your nadir, right? Which is kind of like the lower heaven. And whether it's Leo or you, it doesn't really matter. The fourth house rules home, right? So they say, but this also rules your end of life, right? And Cancer, they always make it out to be such a surface sign, you know, like you're a Susie homemaker or something. You're a lot more Scorpio than that, you know. You're a lot more mysterious than some Susie homemaker. So don't you ever forget that either. You know, maybe that's a thing, is like there's something where you feel like you need to be so pure. I mean, try to get there. You want to filter, right? Because Cancer can be dark. It's the darkest constellation. But point is that if you have integrity in your choices, then you will succeed in work, in love, etc. In your family. Remember, Pisces is in charge of... Pisces dominates your energy. So if you ever feel stuck in your Cancerian energy, please go to Pisces. And remember that that's a little tough to get in, to find the... I heard the combination to that door. Yeah, there's a lot of illusions, inclusions there, right? You gotta kind of come to the door. It's a tricky door. And I guess if you can't seem to open Pisces door, then you can go to Scorpio, right? Which you're actually in charge of. You dominate Scorpio's energy, Cancer. So it's okay and beautiful, when you feel really peaceful and calm and collected, and everything feels so good. But also recognize that with Pluto opposing your energy for the next 18 years, and this is collective too, there's going to be some hard spots, especially if you have anything Cancer, Capricorn energy. It's going to be highlighted. I mean, this is a long time. 20 years is some people's lifetime. So, I don't know why we're discussing it this way. But just remember that I heard again, you ain't no Susie homemaker. So you don't have to pretend to be anything, but please don't hurt yourself unnecessarily by taking any less than, because you know better now about what actually is good for you or not. Okay? Like, what's a manipulation, right? You can't feed the whole neighborhood if you ain't fed yourself. Okay. Alrighty then. Happy Leo season, or whenever you arrive to this space, Cancer. Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure talking with you, speaking with you, connecting with you. I do hope this reading was of service. I feel like other people could be draining you now a little bit too. But you could also have some really good conversations. So you want to jump in, jump out there. I'll also close this out. Beyond thanking you for being here, your support really matters. Here on Patreon, all of that. If you don't know about Patreon, there's a link below. It gives extra content. But really, Cancer, what do you want outside of your community, outside of your family, outside of your partnership? You're allowed to want things in those spaces. And if you are going to connect it back into this collective family, work, whatever situation, please understand that you are entitled to have your own opinion about those circles, right? Like, but again, reeling it back in, what do you want right now anyway? What are you wanting? Okay. All right, back sore. Gotta go. Love ya. Peace.